Hi, and welcome to another episode of Project Bikes and Cars. This is our second on the 67 C10, our latest project. I think you're really going to like it because there's lots of thrills and chills and excitement for the whole family. What you see here is timing marks. This is on the harmonic balancer, and this is the lower pulley. The little notch on the pulley lines up with 0 on the timing tab. So above that is before top dead center. Below that is after top dead center. And initially, you'd set the timing probably at 12 to 15 degrees before top dead center. So I have set it on 0, and then I've double checked to see that I was on the compression stroke by making sure that my rocker arms are both up, that the valves are both closed. By the way, this side is 1, 3, 5, and 7. The other side is 2, 4, 6, 8. And the firing order is 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. So now we're in a position to pull the distributor out and see why we're not getting fired at the points. You know, after all, this thing's been sitting so long, and we don't know why it hadn't been driven in years. Something happened that it just came to a standstill. So it's a little mystery we're going to have to work on. I pretty much believe this is the worst part of working on a truck, is to get to the distributor and all the timing stuff, which is in the back on small block Chevrolets. But we're going to make an effort to pull this distributor out with the least amount of trouble that we can do. Okay, that's the wire that goes to the distributor. And those that don't know, the distributor is held down with little spring points. And you just push them down and turn them, and they latch on the bottom. So it's real easy to get to and real easy to do. Yeah, right. Pretty straightforward. Well, actually, 90 degrees. Okay, get that off. You probably can't see, but I'm disconnecting the vacuum advance, and I'm about to fall because the bucket's sliding out from under me. Please stand by. I happen to have an old-fashioned, made in USA super wrench. I have a ratchet that matches this, a super wrench. This is a distributor wrench, so it curves around to get to the 9/16 bolt that holds the hold down. So you can reach back here like this and get to it easier. With the vacuum advance diaphragm that sticks out, it's pretty hard to run stuff in there. So distributor wrench. I still have my dwell meter. I still have a timing light. So we're living in the past. Now, when I put it back, I'm simply going to aim my rotor at the number 1 cylinder. I'm not going to bother to mark it or anything, which probably you could do. It's probably a good idea. There's the hold down. Actually, just bolts into the manifold, and with this little Y pushes down on the top part of the shaft. So here it comes out. Yeah, let's repeat that. Here it comes out. Oh, the wire wasn't loose. There we go. And here's our distributor. Now, you see the bottom of it there. This little bar in there, that connects to the oil pump, and it drives the oil pump. When the distributor turns that gear that you see on the bottom that connects to the camshaft. I'm going to make an attempt to explain, probably not very well, how an antiquated but very functional points system with a coil, how they fire your spark plugs. So I've set up a little test. I'm going to, in my own little way, try to explain, and I hope that you can follow along so that people that don't know will understand, and people that do understand will go, okay, you got it right. So let's go look at it. Okay, this is very basic. We have a battery, we have a distributor, and a coil with a spark plug. The positive side of the battery connects to the positive side of our coil. I wish it was color coordinated, but I used what I had. The negative side of the coil connects to the distributor. Then the negative side of the battery, which is always grounded, it has to be to complete a circuit. It's grounded here on our bench, which our distributor is grounded to because you can see it's in a vise connected to a metal bench. So when the distributor gear is turned by the camshaft, then we get spark that ignites fuel and air and makes all the magic happen. So a little bit more detail. Here's our points right here, and you see behind it is a shaft, and it's got lobes on it. When the lobes turn, the points open and close like that. When the points open, our coil is no longer grounded, and it releases the charge that's been stored. And it goes through the wire to the distributor cap, and it gets distributed with a rotor. Looks like this. And this contact on the end, as it turns around and around, makes contact with each individual spark plug wire. So the energy that is released goes through there, out through the wires, and ignites the plugs. So that's how that works. Okay, the seat is out. You get a better view of our floor. Get a little bit of rust here, and as you can see right there, I think that's going to be easily repaired. The other side looks really good. Looks to be intact. You can see there where the outer rockers join. They're rusty, but like we discussed before, we're going to replace the outer rockers. So we are on our way. Now, here's our seat. And this is our inexpensive but functional seat cover. This is what it's going to look like is in a million trucks just like this. So we're going to pull the what's left of that cover off and cover it with the new cover, and that'll get us by for a while anyway. It's certainly it'll look better, and it's going to have to smell better. It was a combination of old gas and a large rodent with a urinary tract infection. If you remember in the walk around, there was an oil pressure gauge in the dash, and it was non-functional. As it turns out, the plastic line that goes from the oil pressure gauge to the back of the block was interrupted. As a matter of fact, it was tied in a knot. Well, it had also taken the scenic route. It was about 3 feet too long. So I ordered a new line kit and routed it, maybe 18 inches from where you are here to the back of the block. So I'd like to know that we had oil pressure before we actually fire it. Now, so the best way to see if an engine is firing is to pull the spark plug out and let it arc, or use a test light so that you'll actually see the spark plug firing. The trouble is we were using number 1 plug, and as the number 1 plug was bad, it was foul, and it wouldn't fire anyway. But during all the testing that we were doing and trying to get fire, I realized in finding top dead center and taking the valve cover off that the top of the engine was not oiling. I had reconnected the old pressure switch, and it had a clear line, and I already knew that oil was not going up there, so it was suspicious anyway. Take the valve cover off to check that we're on top dead center. We find out that there's no oil in the top of the engine. So I ordered the shaft that you need, which is basically a shaft that duplicates the shaft on the distributor, and you turn it with your drill, and that spins the oil pump and pumps oil up to the top of the engine. Well, realizing that we needed to do that anyway, I stopped where I was, and that's when I set up the test with the distributor and the coil and the battery. 1, to show people how that works, and 2, test for myself. So I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too, and I hope you got something out of it. Now what we're about to do is take our shaft and put it in the engine where the distributor goes, and turn the oil pump and see if we can't get oil pressure up to the top of the engine, get it oiling before we put the distributor back and try to make it run. Okay, this is the shaft, and it's got a little notch in the end of it, just like the distributor does. And we put it down in the engine like this. Now we're probably going to have to take it loose. That's going to take both hands. Oh, great. Well, we've got oil done up to the oil pressure gauge. I can see it because it's clear. The new line that I put on the pressure gauge. Let's get some light. There we go. We can see more better. Okay, we're getting oil out of the push rod tubes. That's what we're looking for. Okay, you can see the oil coming up through the push rod tube on that cylinder, and a little in the back here, see the oil. And that little line back there is the oil pressure switch line. And you see that it's clear and it has oil in it now. So we're definitely heading in the right direction. Okay, got a new gasket to go on the distributor. I'm gonna drop that right on here. That's our base of the shaft right there. And if you remember when we took it off, our vacuum advance was basically in that direction. And we're going to have to reset timing and dwell. When you change the dwell, you change the timing. So we're going to point our little rotor cap, rotor button, whatever you want to call it. We're going to aim it towards over here to the number 1 cylinder. And we may run into some sort of problem with the shaft because we've turned it with when we were oiling the engine. So that could give us a little heartburn, but we'll see if we can't just drop it back in there. Okay, that's basically in that area right there where it was, and this is pointing towards number 1 cylinder. Could it be that easy? We're going to find out. Here's our hold down. Actually has a little bolt that goes into the manifold, and this goes around on the bottom of the shaft there and holds everything in place. And what you do is you kind of snug it down so it won't move too much, but you can still turn the distributor back and forth like this, which changes the time in advance or retard. I wish I could see better. Okay, I got it started. This is where we get to use our ignition wrench, a distributor wrench. But you know what? I left it out there. If I was Richard Rawlings, I could have got my beer assistant to get it. But no. I bet you can't see. Okay, we've got our distributor back in. That was fun. And now we're going to put our coil back where it goes, right here on the manifold next to the distributor. Well, the distributor's back in. The coil is connected right here. And we replaced a couple of spark plugs. And I guess it's time to put a little fuel in the carburetor and see if we can't get it to light off. So I have a remote, but I'm having a hard time getting it hooked up by myself. I can't see it. We took out the bench seat, and momentarily we've replaced them with bucket seats. That's a little humor there. I know, very little. We're going to jump in there and turn the switch, and we'll see what happens. All right, it sounds like it's going to light off. I think Put a little bit in there, as Derek would say, my good friend Derek. I'm friends with him. He doesn't know me from Adam. It's just right. Too much is just right. Here we go. Okay. There we have it. That's what we're looking for. We have a runner. All right, let's see. Let's get it one more shot. Let's see if we can get it to light off again. Okay, I think this is probably a good time to stop for several reasons. One, it is so hot. Just now, I saw a dog chasing a cat across the lot, and they were both walking. Old joke, but it never gets old. I think that's as far as I want to run it right now. You got to remember, we have no idea how old the oil is in there. Our carburetor is leaking at the base, and with just me here, you know, we could have a fire, and then I would really be busy. That belt that runs the water pump is just coming apart. We have no idea. We have no coolant in it, so we don't know if the water pump works and that sort of thing. I don't mind running it a few minutes, but I don't want it to overheat. The main thing is about the oil. We don't know how old it is, but now we know that it runs. That's huge. That's what we were looking for. So when we get it to run and idle, then we can set the dwell with our dwell meter, which is the gap on the points. Then we'll set our timing. We'll set it just right, you know, 12, 15 degrees before top dead center. So I think this is a good time to stop. Also, if I stop here, our video will be, I don't know, 15, 16 minutes long, maybe 17. And maybe I'm wrong. You guys let me know, make a comment. But do you like the longer videos? Do you like the shorter videos? The first one about the C10 is moving on up. People are watching, so that's good. This is part 2, and I'm going to hope that it helps move along and get in the algorithm. I think things are, I think there's a good. I think any old car is worth saving. If you enjoy it, then you're not really working. Now, think about that. Getting things done and not working at it. I like it. Okay, until next time, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and subscribe.